This is the Cordelia Secret Cottage lot. It's one of the coolest lots in the game. Well, first of all, because the house is really cute that is on here by default, but also because it's in such a cool location. You can't really tell here in the beginning, but you're gonna see it in just a while. It's like on a mountain and there's a waterfall to the left, and it's so pretty. So I knew I wanted to do something special here for my save file. And so I randomly had the idea, what if I tried to build a Hobbit Hole or a Hobbit house? I think you can say both. What I basically mean is like a house that's kind of inside of a hill, and it took me a while to figure out how I want to do this, where it looks good and where it actually works. But I came up with this, where I did place like a room and then just kind of surrounded it with cliffs. But then I had the problem that the cliffs don't go all the way up to the walls, because that's just how the game works, unfortunately. So I put like a platform on top to cover up the weird edges, and to my own surprise, that worked out really well. I mean, it's still a bit awkward, but we're just gonna cover it with a billion plants later on, and it's gonna turn out so cool. I honestly think this is one of the prettiest builds I ever made. And I've made a lot, so that's saying something. Now, I'm building this with only Cottage Living activated right now, so unfortunately the only grass color that I have that I can color that platform up above with is this super bright green. So it looks kind of weird that the grass on top there is so much greener, but once again, we're gonna cover it in like a million plants and then you're not gonna notice it as much anymore. Also, I raised up a platform inside. I was talking about something else when I did that just then, but I thought that inside of these houses, the ceiling is also pretty low, right? Because it's hobbits after all. So I raised up the floor as much as possible so where a sim can still fit in there, and I of course playtested it. Yeah, speaking of ceilings though, this build is such a good example of why ceiling paint is really important. Okay, maybe not like really important, but it does make a big difference. I think originally when we got it in a free update, like forever ago at this point, a lot of people were like, well, what is this for? Why do we need this? And you're gonna see, because this video is pre-recorded, I actually don't have that feature here yet. And so later on, especially in like the final walkthrough, tour, whatever you want to call it, you can really spot that there's like the white ceiling and it just doesn't fit at all. I'm thinking when I actually upload this to the gallery, I want to come in and update it with all of the newer features that we got. And you best believe ceiling paint is gonna be the first order of business. But yeah, as you can see, we're covering it up real good right now with flowers and trees. And I'm actually using the fake stuff from the debug menu, which doesn't cost anything. So while it looks like this lot should be really expensive because of all of the stuff that I put around, it actually ends up being a starter. Okay, well, a starter plus. So if you start the game with 2 or more sims, you will be able to afford this place directly with the starter money. I was originally going to build it so that just 1 sim can afford it, but I kinda ran out of money and decided to give myself some more. Oh, I totally forgot to mention it, but if you've seen my last video, right, you remember Jerry, right? I kind of just randomized a sim so that I could build an apartment with a budget there. And I accidentally created this guy, Jerry. And I said, well, I wrote in the video that this is not going to be the last time that you see him. And guess what? He's back. Maybe you've already recognized him, maybe you haven't. He looks quite different because unfortunately the hair as well as the suit that he came with is from City Living. And here I've deactivated that pack because I just want to build with Cottage Living, right? Like I said. And so I made like a base game only version of him, which is quite different, unfortunately. It's quite different vibes. But do you know what? Jerry is Jerry. And we love Jerry. Or maybe it could be like his twin brother. Question is, which one is the evil one? I placed down some lights so that we can actually see at night. And then in this next scene, I had a look at what it looks like so far. And first of all, this area, again, I love it. It's so cool. And then the house itself. I'm so proud of it. It's like you're trying to tell me that I made this. Are you sure? I moved on to the terrain paint as well as a few finishing touches, and then just in a sec you're gonna see me move on into the interior because the outside is pretty much done now, I think. Yeah, and inside is honestly less special. Yeah, the outside is honestly just wow. Meanwhile, the inside, honestly, in my opinion, less so. Most likely because, again, we were building with a budget. I still quite like how it turned out though. It's really cute. Now, this lot is unsurprisingly definitely going into my save file. Sometimes I build things and then I'm not quite sure if I actually want them or, you know, want them in that version. Meanwhile, with this one, I'm pretty confident that I like it. I have, however, been thinking, because this would be the starter house for Henford and Beckley in my save file, right? And I'm not so sure if this lot is that desirable to play on after all. Because while it is one of the prettiest lots in the game, like I said in the beginning, it's also kind of inconvenient because you are on that mountain after all. Maybe that's not that big of an issue, but still. And I've been thinking, what if we actually make this like a Sims house that I'm going to create then and move in here? Because wouldn't it be cool to have, like, you know, the mysterious resident on top of the mountain living in their little Hobbit Hole? And also, I've been thinking, I probably shouldn't be saying this out loud because speculating with this game, not that good of an idea. Because when you speculate about new content that might be coming, you kind of secretly really want it, right? And then you might get disappointed when it doesn't end up actually being a thing. But, okay, I am relatively confident that we're going to get a fairies pack, right? In the same way that we have a pack for werewolves and vampires as well, for example. You see, because fans have been asking for it forever. And I don't think EA would not use an opportunity as big as this one to make some bank. Again, just 100% speculation. But how fitting would it be to move in a fairy sim into this place? Great, I really want to do that now. I hope my speculation is correct. Also, I would of course make sure that it's compatible with those who don't have the pack. That's kind of what I'm trying to do with the save file, is that anybody can play it but also have plenty cross-pack compatibility. And I've already tested that with the occults that we do actually already have in the game, and it works really well with those. It's been so bad. I kind of figured that the reason that there wasn't that much cross-pack compatibility in this game is because of just how the game works, like that it just wasn't really possible. But every time I tested something, you know, like what if a sim is an occult and then I don't have the occult pack, or what if I place down this lot and then I don't have the pack for that, what happens? Every time that I made experiments like that, it ended up working perfectly. Like they really have a lot of the technology necessary in the game for cross-pack compatibility to work, but they just don't do it. Pretty frustrating. Oh well, at least that motivated me even more to continue working on the save file. And in future episodes where we do actually have like occult sims that require a specific pack or lots that require a specific pack, you're gonna see some more of these experiments. But what you may get to see right now, haha, perfect transition, is the final tour because we're already done. First of all, here's what it looks like from the map view. The video was pretty short given how long I worked on this, but that is because a lot of it was just like spent placing flowers somewhere in the back, and I cut out a lot of that because, I mean, who cares? I'm going to upload this to the gallery. It's just going to be called Hobbit Hole, and my account name is LadyLoea, spelled as Loea. And again, it only requires Cottage Living installed. Yeah, I hope you find that the gallery can be a bit of a nightmare, honestly. But here you get to see some of the interior. This ended up being a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, and I made one of the bedrooms into a kid's room. In fact, I already prepped the house so that in case you want to have a baby here, you can. I didn't put a high chair though, did I? Well, I don't like those anyway. I just noticed those windows are uneven. Or is it the door? Either way, no! Well, moving on quickly from that, here are some more shots of the outside. Again, super proud. And with that, thank you so much for watching. And I hope you're going to be back next week where we are going to build using only the base game this time. And we're gonna build like a fortune teller wagon. It's pretty cool. See you then!